looking at Groundhog Day from Funko Games. Oh, Funko Games. Groundhog Day, the game from Funko Games.
What?
Get off your phone. Groundhog Day, the game.
The game that we worship a glorified rat.
Hey there, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, and today we're taking a look at Groundhog Day from Funko Games. Alright, I have Groundhog Day, the game from Funko Games on the table here. Groundhog Day, the game is a hidden information cooperative hand management game in which players are going to work together to try and help Phil Connors, the main character from Groundhog Day, live the perfect day. Now, this is going to be a process because, as is the case in the movie, Phil Connors is a selfish, horrible human being at the beginning of the movie, and he has to learn several different things in order to become a genuinely good guy. So that's going to take several attempts on the player's part to help him live the perfect day, reliving the same Groundhog Day time and time again in the process. How this works throughout the course of the game, players are going to be dealt a number of cards depending upon where Puxatawny Phil is going to be at. At the beginning of the game, you can place him here on the 24 for a standard game, or you can increase the difficulty by placing him on the 22, or yet again, even on the 20. However, I would recommend putting him on the 24 because this game is not easy. Now, what you're going to be doing, you're going to get your cards dealt to you, and only you can see your cards. You have to keep them secret from other players. You cannot talk during a round. Everything has to be silent, and players are going to try and place cards starting from lowest number at the beginning of the day to highest number towards the end of the day. You have to place them in sequential order, but you don't necessarily have to place them in numerical order. You can skip numbers. So for instance, a end of a round might look something like this. We've got 1, 2, 4, 5, 9, 11, and 12. And you can see that these cards have differing scenes from the movie. So number 1 here, I got you, babe. Okay, campers rise and shine. That's the familiar scene at the beginning of every day in Groundhog Day. Number 2 here, off to see the groundhog. Don't mess with me, pork chop. Dealing with Ned, needle-nosed Ned there. Number 4 here, watch out, splort. You know, that first step's a doozy. For those of you who are familiar with the movie, you'll know these scenes. And as you can see, the artwork here are hand-drawn scenes from the movie, not actual still shots from the movie, and that's good. I like that. I don't like actual pictures from the movie. I like artwork. And so the flavor text are quotes from the movie. So this is going to bring you back to that movie. It's very nostalgic here. But again, you're going to be doing this silently, playing them sequentially, but not necessarily numerical order. And what you are trying to do on top of playing them in order before your sand timer runs out, you start this at the beginning of a round, by the way, and if this runs out before you play 7 cards, you lose. You're also trying to manage how many hearts end up showing on these cards here. So you can see there are different colors of cards. We've got these gray cards, which are going to be your selfish cards, as they have no hearts on them. You're going to want to try to get those out of your deck early on. Then you're going to have your wild cards, which only have 1 heart in them. And so that's primarily the cards you're going to want to play at the beginning of the game to limit the number of hearts you have, because on this line right here, we have 3 hearts. So we're going to put a 3 token here on the end to represent our score of 3, because when we relive Groundhog Day, we move this counter over 1 space. So now we're going to get dealt 22 cards, and we're going to have to do the same thing over again, except we need more hearts than what we had the round before. So we need at least 4 hearts this next time. And there are other cards that are going to help us to do that. We've got our nice cards here, which come with 2 hearts on them. So Phil is starting to become more nice. And then we've got these yellow cards, which are learning cards. And these are very important. They come in 2 different varieties. We have just our plain old learning cards that have 3 hearts on them. And then we have those that help us to unlock certain cards. Again, they have 3 hearts on them, but more importantly, they help us to unlock a card. So number 8 card here, Take Piano Lessons, helps us to unlock the Play in the Band card, number 11. you'll notice here at the top we have 6 perfect cards that can only be put into our deck right here if we unlock them with the learning cards. So this one in particular helps us to get card number 11, play in the band, which makes sense. I have to first take piano lessons before I can play in the band. Now when I unlock this card, it's going to go into the deck, and it will shuffle that deck up, and it will hopefully be dealt to us later on throughout the course of the game. And as we've seen, these perfect cards have 4 hearts on them. Now you have to unlock those cards up there at the top because you only have 6 of these perfect cards in the deck at the beginning of the game. And in order to win the game, you have to live a perfect day by playing 7 perfect cards. So you're going to have to at least unlock one of these cards up here, but you're definitely going to want more than that in order to increase your chances of having 7 cards dealt to you that are perfect cards. And again, you have to do this completely silent. You cannot talk to the other players at the table. You can strategize before a round and talk about what you think a good strategy might be to do if you get certain cards, but then once everyone is ready to start a round, everyone touches the alarm clock here, and you start the timer and you start the round. Now, if you don't like sand timers, if you want something that's a little more up-to-date, 21st century, there is an app that you can download, a Groundhog Day app, but I must warn you that this can be pretty annoying with polka music unless you're really into this. It does have a countdown here, and then little Puxatani Phil comes climbing out of his tree stump and starts looking around and starts dancing for you and does some cute stuff, but yeah, mostly this is just a little annoying, so we're going to turn that off. But anyhow, you can download that if you would like. And that is pretty much the game. You win if you can live the perfect day. You lose if you play any cards out of order, if you're not able to play 7 cards before the timer runs out, or if Puxatani Phil reaches the end of the line and you still haven't lived a perfect day, then you are going to lose the game. And that's pretty much the gist of it. Let's go back up top and share our thoughts on this game. All right, we're back, and now we're going to share our thoughts on Groundhog Day the Game. And if you'd like to check out our playthrough video, you can click that eye in the top right corner, and it'll take you to that video so you can see how this game works in action. Right now, we're going to share our thoughts on it. Sam, what did you think about Groundhog Day the Game?
I really enjoyed it. I loved the movie, and it was pretty thematic as far as the wording on the cards and things like that, but it was a fun cooperative game, and sometimes cooperative games can kind of go one of two ways. You know, you can have the gamers or even just people that are more interested in the game kind of control it, and I didn't feel like it was that way. I think because it was a fairly easy game to understand, you're just trying to get those numbers to line up, but you have to pay attention to how many hearts you get, and I thought it was a lot of fun. We all really enjoyed playing it.
This game does an awesome job at truly bringing everyone into the experience, and you all feel like you win together or lose together as a team. There is, as like Sam said, with the case with any cooperative game, there is the possibility for an alpha gamer or a quarterbacker, if you're familiar with those terms, somebody who's just directing everyone what to do. But as is what the case with this game and other similar games like it, with mechanics like the mind or the game, where you are holding your cards and only you know what you have, no one else does, it limits the amount of alpha gaming that can go on in this game.
And everybody has to play.
Everybody has to play, right. Everybody's minds are important and included in the strategy on this game. Yeah. And it's a simple idea, right? Just, you got to play the cards from lowest to highest, and you want no hearts at the beginning if possible, and more hearts as you go on, unlocking those perfect cards probably halfway through the game, and then really needing to play them all towards the end, obviously, to get the win. That's an easy idea. That's an easy concept. Yeah.
But it's funny because the second time we played it 2 times in a row. And the first time we really thought we were going to get it, and then we lost. And the second time it was about halfway through that we were like, there's no way.
We're not going to win.
And we completely...
And we won.
And it blew all of our minds because it's kind of luck-based. I mean, there is luck in what cards you get. I suppose you can play, like we did the first game, you can play a perfect game and
just have bad luck on the draw of the cards that you get in one of those later rounds where the cards you get are very sparse. You don't get a whole lot of cards.
Yeah.
And so in that part of the game, maybe there is some luck that determines whether you win or lose.
Yeah.
But it's such a fun experience throughout it. And it's not a long game. We played 2 games in a matter of 25 minutes, I think. That you don't feel like you've invested so much time and energy that it's a huge letdown if you lose. It's such a fun experience that you want to play it again, even if you do lose.
Yeah.
Even if you win, you want to play it again.
Well, and even that second round that we played, I was throwing out red cards when I wasn't supposed to. So I think it was a big shock when I had the 12 red card
to win the game.
To win the game.
Yeah.
And I don't think anybody trusted that I would know how to play it.
Now, I will say this is a perfect example of when mechanics work well with the theme.
Yeah.
You know, if you're not familiar with Groundhog Day, there's a little bit of being stuck in a paradox, a time paradox, where he's repeating the same day over and over and over again. So he knows what's to come. He knows what the day is going to look like. He just tries to live it differently each time. And so the mechanics of this game are great with that theme. You're going through the same event, day after day. You're just trying to make each day a little bit better than the day before, a little bit better than the day before. But you don't want to take too big of a leap, because then it's going to really mess you up when you try to have the perfect day. And I think that works perfectly in this sense.
I think there's a lot of times where creators try to make a game with a theme that everyone's going to enjoy, but it's just the theme is on the box and it's not incorporated in the game. That's why a lot of times there's lots of things I'm interested in, but just because I'm interested in it, I don't necessarily want to play a game about it because we haven't had great experience.
It can feel disjointed.
Yeah, exactly. But this is perfect.
This is not disjointed. This, like I said, is the perfect mix between those two. Perfect marriage between theme and mechanics. So highly recommend it. It's one that I think everybody's going to enjoy, especially fans of Groundhog Day, the movie.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get into our ratings for this game. Scale of 1 to 10, Sam, love to hate. What do you give this game?
I'd give it an 8.2. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was great for non-gamers. It's a great group game, which sometimes, that's not the case, but it's a wonderful game.
Yeah, I'm going to give this game a 7.7, and I've spoken to it, what I really like about it. The only knocks that maybe I might have are that, as is the case with a lot of cooperative games, after you've beaten it a few times, I wonder what the replayability is going to be like. We've only beaten it once at this point, and that was on the standard mode, so we've not even tried it on the hard mode just yet, and so maybe, if we want that challenge, we'll come back to it. But, that's usually the case with these cooperative type games. After you beat it a few times, do you still want to play it? I don't know. We'll find out on this one. So 7.7 for right now.
Make sure to like and subscribe and push that bell button and get notifications of our new content. Make sure to check out our playthrough as well.
All right, I'm Lance.
I'm Sam.
And we are Love to Hate, where we try to bridge the gap between gamers and non-gamers. We'll catch you next time.